going to teach you about human resource planning. Its code is MMPH003 Block 1 Unit 1, which consists of the alignment of HR planning with business strategy. So, we will be discussing here what are the different strategy that HR policy should taken for aligning HR policies with business strategy. So here we will be completing about introduction of the subject, definition of HR planning and its importance, overview of business strategy and its relationship with HR planning, analyzing current workforce, determining future workforce need, importance of aligning HR planning with business strategy, best practices for aligning HR planning with business strategy, key steps to aligning HR planning with different business strategies, role of HR professionals to business leaders in HR planning process, challenges in aligning HR planning with business strategy. So we can see with a fast-paced and constantly changing business environment, companies must have a clear and well defined strategy to achieve their goals. The critical elements of any successful business strategy is aligning with HR planning with the overall business strategy. So, human resource planning is the process of analyzing the organization's human resource needs and developing strategies to meet those needs. This human resource planning is also known as HRP or manpower planning. It involves forecasting future demand for employees, assessing the current workforce, and developing strategies to attract, retain, and develop employees to meet organizational goals. So, HR planning is the critical to the success of an organization because it ensures that the organization has the right people in the right roles at the right time to achieve its strategic objectives. In short, we can say human resource planning is nothing but selecting right kind of people in the right roles at right time to organization to achieve the organization's goals and objectives. What are the importance of HR planning? So here we will be discussing about anticipating future staffing needs, attracting and retaining top talent, managing cost, supporting diversity and inclusion, aligning HR with business strategy. So, first we will be discussing on anticipating future staffing needs. So, it helps in enabling organizations to anticipate staffing needs, align their workforce with business objectives, enhance flexibility, control cost, and ensure succession planning by forecasting future employee demand based on the strategic goals. So, here we have to anticipate the amount of staff required for the organization for future perspective. Attracting and retaining top talent. It helps organizations to identify the skills and competencies needed to achieve their goals and develop strategies to attract, retain, and manage employees with those capabilities. So, it helps in attracting the employees as well as retaining the employees who are competent enough and skilled enough. Now, coming to the managing costs. Here, it helps organizations to manage the labor costs by identifying where to adjust the staffing levels, preventing costly overstaffing, and productivity losses from understanding. Here, the managing cost represent how to optimum utilization of staffing resources, where it is overstaffing, where it is understaffing, which helps to identify or helps to minimize the cost of the organization. Now we'll be discussing on supporting diversity and inclusion. So it helps organizations in building a diverse and inclusive workforce by identifying the gaps and developing strategies to attract and retain employees for underrepresented groups. So in the organization there are various groups which through which a person or an HR department can identify the talented employees or potential employees, or they can attract the employees and they can retain the potential employees from underrepresented groups. Now comes to the aligning HR with business strategy, which is most important factor. So it ensures the HR department that aligns with the organization's strategic goals, enabling it to provide the necessary support and resources to achieve those objectives. So the aligning HR with the business strategy, which is very crucial for every organization to start, to run, to formulate the different policies and to run the business by achieving the organizational goals and objectives. Here, the overview of business strategy and its relationship with HR planning. So, we can see that business strategy is a strategic plan to achieve an organization's long term goals and objectives. That every organization has the long term goals and its objective. So, business strategy is a strategic plan to achieve that goals and objectives. It involves identifying organizations' competitive advantages, allocating resources effectively, and planning how the organization will complete or compete in the marketplace. So it helps to compete the organization in the competitive world, or we can say in the marketplace, or we can say the labor market. So, the HR planning plays a key role in supporting the business strategy by ensuring the organization has the right people in the right roles to meet the. So, it helps in identifying the HR implications of the strategies, including required skills and any workforce gaps. So, it helps in identifying the workforce gaps through strategies or including required skills. It helps in developing strategies to address these gaps, such as recruitment, training, and development plans. We have different kinds of tools, such as recruitment, training, and development plans, so through which the gap or the workforce gap can be identified and it can be redesigned or developed with different strategies. So it helps in aligning HR planning with business strategy is the critical to organizational success, ensuring the right talent is in the place to meet goals and creating the competitive advantages. So here we will be discussing on analyzing the current workforce. There are various steps. Those are gathering the data, identifying the skill gap, assess the employee engagement and retention, analyze workforce diversity, identify high potential employees. First, we will be discussing about gathering data. So, HR professional should collect the data on the current workforce, including information of an employees demographics, skills, and competencies their job titles, job descriptions, and performance evaluation. Next step is identifying the skill gap. Here, the HR professionals should assess the current workforce skills and competencies against those needed to achieve organizational goals, identifying the skill gaps that can be addressed through recruiting, training, and development programs. After gathering the data of the employees, here HR professional find out the gap which is required for meeting the organizational goals and objectives. Then they assess the employee engagement and retention. Here, the HR professionals should assess the employee engagement and retention to gauge job satisfaction and likelihood of the retention, helping to identify and address any issues that could improve engagement and retention. What happened here? Here, HR professionals assess the employee engagement and their retentions, which leads to job satisfaction and also likelihood of the retention, which helps in identifying and addressing any issues that could improve engagement and retention. The next step is analyze workforce diversity. Here, the HR professionals should evaluate employee engagement and retentions to determine job satisfaction and retention risks. So it identifying the areas for improvement to boost the job satisfaction and retention risks. So after doing the after accessing the employee engagement and retention, it HR professionals should evaluate employee engagement and retentions to determine the job satisfaction as well as the retention risk. Find any gaps between the existing workforce and the skills required to organizations' future goals. Here, what happens? The HR professionals should conduct the workforce analysis, that is, employee analysis, to assess the current skills and competencies and identify that gap if there is any gap between the existing workforce and the skills and the required to meet the organizational future goals. That means here HR professionals are identifying the skills and competencies that is present with the workforce and what the skills and competencies requires for the organizational goals and objectives. Then develop the workforce plan. Based on the workforce analysis and organization's future goal, HR professionals should create the workforce plan by detailing the number and types of employees needed, including projections of retirement, turnover, and other factors affecting workforce size and compositions. So, how the workforce will be developed through training, or if any employees are required through including projections for retirement or turnover and other factors that affecting workforce size and composition. Now, here identify recruitment strategies. So, HR professionals should identify the recruitment strategies. There are various recruitment strategies for identifying the HR professional, such as campus recruiting, we can say campus recruitment, social media outreach through social media, or referral programs, employee referral, we can say, to attract the right talent to the organization. Here, develop the training and developing programs. So, HR professionals should develop training and development programs to enhance the skills and competencies which is necessary for achieving the organization's future goals, which may include training the employees in new technologies and creating leadership development initiatives for the future leaders. So, training and development part is also first and foremost important factor for achieving the organizational goals and objective, as well as creating the future leaders for the organization. So here, what are the future workforce required? First is identifying the future business goals, conduct the workforce analysis, develop the workforce plan, identify the recruitment strategies, develop the training and development programs. Now we'll be discussing on importance of aligning HR planning with business strategies. So what are the importance? So it has in impacting of HR planning on the overall success of the business. So we can say impact of HR planning of the overall success of business. Here, HR planning must align with organizations' business strategies to drive overall success. How it can be done? It can be done through recruitment and retention, talent development, performance management, succession planning, cost management. So, first is coming recruitment and retention. As we know that identifies the required skills and competencies for current and future positions. That means recruitment process enables proactive recruitment to minimize the hiring mistakes and retaining the key employees which are skilled and competent employees or potential employees and helps them in maintaining the competitive edge. Now comes to the talent development. It helps in identifying the skill gaps and employee development need in which area the workforce should be developed. It helps in supporting the creation of training program and mentoring initiatives, so which fosters employees growth and career advancement within the organization. So it says about the challenge, the need and the essence of talent development program for the every workforce in the organization. Now comes to the performance management. Here it sets goals and objectives for the employees as a part of management. So the performance management through this process, the employees' performance can be evaluated or it can be managed. So it helps in ensuring alignment with organizations' overall objectives, which enhances the employee's contribution through the business success. If there is the alignment of organization's objectives and business success, then the employee or the workforce are well performed or they are skilled or competent employees for the organization. Now comes to the succession planning. Through this process, it identifies potential leaders and develops career progression plans. It ensures continuity of leadership within the organization. It prepares the organization for future challenges and opportunities. That means here the potential employees or the potential persons can be identified. Their development program or succession planning can be done over them, and they can reach or achieve the organizational objectives, and they can be the future leader of the organizations. Now comes to the cost management. It identifies the areas for cost reduction by optimizing workforce utilization. It helps in eliminating skill gaps and redundancy in roles. It helps in aiding in decisions related to outsourcing, offshoring, and automating HR process. This is the process in which the optimum utilization of workforce can be done. It can be done by identifying or eliminating skill gaps and redundancies in roles. It helps in taking decisions related to outsourcing, offshoring, and automating HR processes. So, these are the strategies or impact of HR planning on overall success of the business. Now, we will see why it is essential to align HR planning with business strategies. Here, the effective alignment ensures that the organizations effectively utilize their workforce to achieve strategic objectives and enhance overall performance. So, how it can be done? It can be done through following points like inefficient use of resources, talent shortages, lack of employee engagement, ineffective training and development, poor succession planning, right? So, first is inefficient use of resources. Here, hiring employees with mismatched skill leads to inefficient resource use. It results in workforce that does not support the business goals, which causes the lost opportunities and reduced productivity. So ultimately, what happens? The productivity will be reduced. So now comes to the talent shortages. Misalignment can create talent shortages or surpluses, which results in workforce imbalances that affect competitiveness, the, which leads to failure to anticipate the future skill worker need hampers talent pipeline development. So, misalignment of HR planning with business strategies or business strategies which leads or which creates the imbalances, workforces, lack of competitiveness, which affects the result or productivity of the organizations. Moving to the lack of employee engagement, as we know that engaging the employee or employee engagement is the crucial part of the organization. Here, if there is the misalignment of HR planning with the business strategies, then the employee may feel disconnected from the organizational objective. They may feel that they are not the part of the organization, so which leads to decrease in motivation and engagement in their work, which increases the absenteeism and labor turnover, which reducing overall productivity. Ultimate, what will happen? The absenteeism rate will be increased, turnover rate will be increased, motivation and engagement level will be decreased, which also helps in decreasing the overall productivity of the organization. Ineffective training and development. As we know that in every organizations, training and development is the important part as workforce are working. It is required to meet the organizational goals and objectives. So training programs may not meet organizational needs if there is misalignment of HR planning and planning and business strategies, which results in wasted resources as an ineffective workforce. As a result, the inefficient workforce will be worked on there. Hence it fails to develop the skills necessary for achieving business goals. So poor succession planning, what happened here? The lack of effective succession planning leads to leadership vacuums. That means the future requirement position or the future positions cannot be fulfilled through this process. So, the key employee departures can create significant gaps in leadership. So, there will be the negative impact on organizational stability and organization's performance. So here we can see importance of HR planning with business strategies, why it is necessary. If this will not happen, then inefficient use of resources we can find out, talent shortages, we can see the lack of employee engagement, ineffective training and development, poor succession planning. Now comes to the best part, that is best practices for aligning HR planning with business strategies. The alignment of HR planning with the business strategies is essential for organizational success. So it ensures the HR initiatives support business goals, which maximizes the resource efficiency. So we can see the various examples in the market like General Electric, you can see the Netflix, Southwest Airline, as well as Procter and Gamble, that is PNG company. So first we can see General Motor or General Electric company. These are the company which are the different sectors which are belonging to the different sectors in the General Electric companies. What happens now? It is a conglomerate company that has successfully aligned with the HR practices, HR policies with the business strategies. With in this company, there is the perfect alignment of HR planning with the business strategies, and its benefits leads to improve in productivity, employee engagement, and strong leadership pipeline. And we can say the example of Netflix, it is the technology company which the major focus of this company is the talent management and talent acquisition process, talent acquisition process, in which company, in this company, here the perfect HR planning with the business strategies, which leads to increase in productivity, low turnover rate, which creates employee engagement in the industries. And we can say the Southwest Airlines, it is the airline company which basically focuses on employee engagement as well as the customer satisfaction with the proper aligning of HR planning with the business strategies, which leads to increasing productivity, customer satisfaction, and as well as the employee engagement in the industries. And now the example of Procter and Gamble PNG company, it is the multinational company, and we know that it is a consumer good company which focuses on basically the customer satisfaction. With the proper alignment of HR planning with the business strategies, we can see there is the increase in productivity and increase in employee engagement as well as strong leadership programs or pipeline we can see in this company. So we can see through these companies they have the proper HR planning with the business strategy. But if there is not a proper alignment of HR planning with business strategies, or there is a failure of business HR planning with the business alignment of HR planning with the business strategies, which can result in the number of risks and negative consequences to the organization, such as misaligned priorities details, poor employee engagement, inefficient use of resources, increased risks, lack of innovations. So, first is misaligned priorities details. Without alignment, HR initiatives may diverge from organizations' business strategies and priorities, which result in wasted of time and resources. Poor employee engagement, as we have already discussed that the employee engagement is one of the major factor to feel the employee as the part of the organization and the part of the decision making process of the organization. The HR programs misaligned with organizational business strategies may fail to effectively engage the employees, resulting in decreased productivity, higher turnover rate, and increase in absenteeism rate. Now comes to the inefficient use of resources. Here, organizations may squander the resources on HR programs that are misaligned with their business strategies, leading to inefficient resources for other critical areas and ultimately diminishing the performance and overall business outcomes. That means there will be not proper or optimal utilization of workforce resources and increased risk, as we know that without alignment of HR programs may fails to effectively mitigate organizational risks, resulting in highlighted legal and competence issues along with other operational and reputational risks. So without alignment of HR programs or with the business strategies may create the issues or highlighted the legal and compliance issues that related to operational and reputational risks and lack of innovation. So, HR programs that are misaligned with the organization's business strategy may struggle to support the innovation and change, leading to reduce the competitiveness in the market and diminish the performance over the time. So, as we have discussed the benefits of HR planning with business strategies, one of the sector that is Netflix, how it is capturing the market through its proper HR policies and its alignment with the business strategy. We can see as it is the technological company, so innovations is required in every step, so it is essential. So the alignment of HR planning with business strategy is very much essential, which ensures improving productivity, enhancing employee engagement, and achieving better overall business outcomes. Here we can say if there is the failure of HR planning with the business strategy, we can see the misaligned priorities detail, poor employee engagement, inefficient use of resources, increased risks, lack of innovations, etc. And others failure are being done within the organization, but those are slightly negligible as comparison to these points. So here we'll be discussing on key steps to aligning HR planning with business strategies. What are the key steps? The first step is understand the business strategy, then analyzing the current workforce, then develop the HR strategies with the programs, communicate the HR strategies, implement and monitor the HR strategies, continuously review or update HR strategies. So, first is understand the business strategy. It is the first step in aligning HR planning with business strategy is to comprehend the organization's goals, objectives, and competitive landscape. Then the next step is to analyze the current workforce. The next step is to analyze the current workforce to assess its alignment with the organization's business strategy by identifying the necessary skills, knowledge, and abilities for success in both current and future business environment. So first step is to understand the business strategy. After understanding the business strategy, that should be the analyzing of current workforce. The next step is to develop hr strategies and programs. Based on the analysis of current workforce, the HR strategies and programs should be created to support organizations' business strategy, including recruitment and retention strategies, training and development programs, performance management system, and succession planning. So what happened here? So first step is understanding the business strategy. Second step is analysis of current workforce. After this process, HR strategies and program should be created to support the organization's business strategy, including recruitment and retention strategies, training and development program, and performance management system, as well as the succession planning. Now comes to the communicate the HR strategy. If all the above 3 points will be done effectively, that means once the HR strategies and programs are developed, they should be communicated to the employees and the stakeholders, highlighting their alignment with the organization's business strategies. Then their role in achieving the organizational goals and objectives. First, the strategy will be communicated to the employees as well as the stakeholders. Then the work will be done. The work will be started on achieving the organizational goals and objectives. Now comes to implement and monitor the HR strategies. In this step, what happened? The which strategies or programs has been communicated to the employees and stakeholders, and the process they are following for achieving the organizational goals, that should be implemented and monitored. So in this step, what happened? In this step, the implement of HR strategies and programs while monitoring their effectiveness by collecting the data on key HR metrics such as turnover rates, employee engagement, performance, and using this data for evaluation. So, in this state, after implementing and monitoring the HR strategies, the evaluation process will be going on. Then, continuously review and update HR strategies. So, finally, HR strategies and programs should be regularly reviewed and updated to ensure their continued aligned with organizations' business strategies by monitoring the changes in the business environment and making necessary adjustment. So what we have discussed here, we have discussed understand the business strategies, analyze the current workforce, develop the HR strategies and programs, communicate the HR strategies, implement and monitor the HR strategies, continuously review and update the HR strategies. Now we will be discussing on role of HR professionals and business leaders in the HR planning process. So what are the role of HR professionals and business leaders? Here, the HR professionals and business leaders play crucial roles in HR planning process, making collaboration between two groups essential for successfully aligning HR planning with business strategy. So here what happens first, we will be discussing on HR professionals. Here HR professionals develop and implement HR strategies and programs that support the organization's business strategies. Then they identify the key knowledge and abilities needed for the success in the current and future business environment. First step is develop and implement HR strategies and programs that support the organization's business strategy. They then identify the skill, knowledge, ability that is needed for success in the current and future business environment. Next is they have different responsibilities, including developing recruitment and retention strategies, training and development programs, performance management systems, succession plannings. So, the HR professionals collect and analyze the data on the key HR matrices such as turnover rate, employee engagement, performance matrices. They evaluate the effectiveness of HR strategies and the programs based on this data. That means they evaluate whatever the data has been given or previously gathered, the effectiveness of HS strategies and programs. Then communication of HS strategies to the employees and the stakeholders is essential. Then ensure the compliance of HS strategies with laws and regulations. Then the role of business leaders here, the business leaders are responsible for defining the organization's business strategies and goals and providing directions and making decisions that impact on overall success. They collaborate closely with HR professional to ensure that HR strategies and programs align with business strategies and support the achievement of organizational objectives. So, what are the importance of the collaborations? So, collaboration between HR professionals and business leaders is crucial for successfully aligning HR planning with business strategies. HR professionals must deeply understand the organization's strategies, goals, and objectives to create supportive HR initiatives, while business leaders should work closely with them to ensure alignment and facilitate the achievement of organizational goals. This collaboration can result in more engaged and productive workforce, improved employee retentions, and better overall business outcomes. HR professionals and business leaders play crucial roles in HR planning process, making collaboration essential for aligning HR planning with the business strategies. By working together, they can ensure the organization has a skilled and engaged workforce that supports the achievement of its goals and businesses. So, importance of collaboration, we can see collaboration between HR professionals and business leaders is the crucial and successfully aligned with the HR planning and business strategy. Then HR process must deeply understand the business strategy and goals and objectives to create the supportive HR initiative, while business leaders should work closely with them to ensure the alignment and facilitate the achievement of the organizational goals. In this collaboration, can result in a more engaged and productive workforce, improved employee retention, and better overall business outcomes. So, HR professionals and business leaders play critical role in the HR planning process, making collaborations essential for aligning HR planning with the business strategy. By working together, they can ensure the organization has a skilled and engaged workforce that support the achievement of its goals and objectives. So here we will be discussing about challenges in aligning HR planning with the business strategies. So aligning HR planning with business strategy is a critical to success the organization, but it is not without challenge. So here the challenges are lack of alignment, limited resources, resistance to change, lack of data and metrics, lack of external factors. So, the first is resistance to change. Implementing changes to HR strategies and programs can face resistance from employees, stakeholders, and even HR professionals, making it challenging for the organization to enact necessary adjustment for alignment with the business strategy. So, lack of data and metrics, what it says, HR planning necessitates data and matrices to assess the effectiveness of HR strategies and programs. But organization may struggle to collect and analyze these metrics like turnover rate, employee engagement, performance, making it difficult to evaluate how well these initiatives support business strategy. Now comes to the external factor. External factors such as shifts in economic environment, changes in laws and regulations, and alterations in the competitive landscape can challenge organizations in aligning HR planning with the business strategies, necessitating the adjustment to the HR strategies and programs to maintain that alignment. What are the strategies for overcoming these challenges and ensuring the HR planning remains aligned with the overall business strategies? Those are communication, collaboration, data analysis, resource allocation, change management. So, effective communication and proactive feedback between HR professionals and business leaders are essential for aligning HR planning with the business strategies. That means effective communication is required. Next step is collaboration. HR professionals and business leaders must ensure the HR planning effectively support the organization's business strategies and goals. Now comes to the data analysis. Collecting and analyzing key HR metrics that helps the organizations in assessing the effectiveness of their HR strategies and make necessary adjustment to align the business goals. Resource allocation, what happens here? Organizations must allocate the adequate resources and provide training to ensure HR professionals can effectively develop and implement strategies that support the business strategy. That means organization must allocate the resource, adequate resource, and provide the training to the HR professionals can effectively develop and implement those training program or strategies that should support the business strategy. Now comes to the change management. So the organization should create a change management plan to effectively communicate and engage the employee and stakeholders while addressing any resistance to change in HR strategies and program. As we know that change is the only constant of life, organization must or should create a change management plan to effectively communicate and engage employees and stakeholders while addressing any resistance to change in HR practices and programs. So, aligning HR planning with the competent with business strategy for competitive advantage, we'll be discussing on attracting and retaining challenge, increased employee engagement, improved performance, innovation, and flexibility. Here, organizations that align HR planning with business strategy are more likely to attract and retain the talented employees with necessary skills and knowledge that resulting in a more skilled workforce better equipped to support strategic goals. So, the organization that align HR planning with the business strategies are more likely to attract, retain the talented employees with the necessary skills and knowledge that resulting in a more skilled workforce better equipped to support the strategic goals. Now comes to the increased employee engagement. HR programs aligned with the organization's business strategy can enhance the employee engagement, resulting in increased productivity, higher job satisfaction, and lower turnover rates, as engaged employees are more likely to contribute to achieving strategic goals and improving overall performance. So, what happens here? HR programs aligned with the organization's business strategy can enhance employee engagement, which result in increasing the productivity, higher the job satisfaction, and lower the turnover rates, as engaged employees are more likely to contribute to achieving the strategic goals and improving overall performance. Now comes to the improved performance. So, aligning HR planning with business strategy, it enhances the performance by equipping employees with the skills and resources needed for improved productivity, customer service, and profitability. That means aligning HR plannings with the business strategies enhances the performance of the employees or workforce by equipping them with skills and resources that needed for improve the productivity, customer service and profitability. Now comes to the innovation part. HR programs aligned with business strategy foster innovation by enabling employees to develop new skills and explore fresh approaches, helping organizations stay competitive. That means HR programs aligned with business strategy foster innovations by enabling employees to develop new skills, explore the fresh approaches, helps the organization stay competitive in the marketplace. Now comes to the flexibility. Aligning HR programs enhance the organizational flexibilities and responsiveness to the market, engage chances by equipping employees with skills needed to adapt swiftly to new opportunities and challenges. So, aligned HR programs enhance the organizational flexibilities, responsiveness to the market, enhanced by equipping employees with the skills needed to adapt swiftly to newer opportunities and challenges. So, aligning HR planning with business strategies gives organizations a competitive advantage by attracting talent, increasing engagement, improving performance, promoting innovation, and enhance the flexibility. So today these are all about HR planning with business strategies for the organization. We have discussed this many of things, like first we have discussed about the overview importance. Then first we have discussed about the overview of HR planning, what it is. Then we have discussed about the HR planning, importance of HR planning. Here we have discussed anticipating future staffing needs, attracting and retaining top talent, managing costs, then supportive diversity and inclusion, aligning HR with business strategy, then overview of business strategy and its relationship with HR planning. Then we have discussed about effective alignment between business strategies and HR planning involves. Then analyzing current workforce. Here we have discussed gather the data, identify the skill gap, assess the employee engagement and retention, analyzing workforce diversity, and identify high potential employees. Then we have discussed determining future workforce needs, then importance of aligning HR planning with business strategy, then importance of aligning HR planning with the business strategies, then best practices for aligning HR planning with business strategies with suitable examples. Then we have discussed key steps to align HR planning with business strategies. Then role of HR professionals and business leaders. Then challenges in aligning HR planning with business strategies. Then aligning HR planning with business strategies for competitive advantages. These are all about our alignment of HR planning with business strategies. Thank you.